Welcome back to the commentary booth. This is Zastro and Ravy back with, for many, what is the most anticipated match of the first half of Day 5 of the group stages here. The Battle of the Forum Warriors, Goonswarm Federation versus Fearless, and what is going to be really unusual setups here. What do you see, Riley?
I've seen an excellent setup from Goons and actually a very interesting, potentially very good setup from Fearless. It's a Tengu, 4 Gilas, or Helas, Basilisk, 4 Sabers, and 2 Merlins for Goonswarm, a lot of drone damage. And Fearless has brought Ham Tengus. So it's 3 Tengus, Vulture, Basilisk, Harpy, Hookbill, and then 3 more Harpies and 2 Vigils. So those Vigils are going to be painting up their targets so the Hams can do full damage. They're going to do a lot of DPS. However, these Gilas also do a huge amount of DPS with that new drone damage module in the lows.
Yeah, a lot of Caldari stuff running around here. Healers, we've seen a few of them so far in the tournament, but I never thought I'd see a team completely based around the
I think we're going to see a lot more of it because they are really strong since Inferno.
Yeah, having those new modules can make a big difference right now.
So we haven't seen any drones dropped by the Goon team yet. It looks like they're not going to just be dropping sentries. They're going to try to get into range. But the two teams are burning towards each other. They warped in both at 50 and at nearly opposite beacons. So they started out quite a long way away from each other.
And we see some remote sensor dampeners hitting those Tengus, which is going to make it a pain in the butt if they were hoping to kite.
And already a Goon Merlin is down. There's tracking disruptors on the Fearless team. It's not going to help them a lot because it only is going to affect the Sabers. But if they can kill these Sabers and Merlins, they're going to be in a pretty strong position as another Saber goes down.
Those assault frigates are making short work of those Sabers and Merlins as soon as they get into range.
Blaster Harpies do an excellent job of killing these frigates, so that's going to be really a good counterpart to the Ham Tengus, which do a very bad job of killing frigates.
And we're continuing to see the support kind of fight it out to see who's going to be able to dictate the range in this match.
So we've now seen a whole bunch of bouncers dropped by Goons. They've dropped Bouncer 2s, Sentry drones, so those drones are going to sit there and shoot at significant ranges. I'm surprised they didn't drop the Bouncers earlier because they really could have been hitting those frigates fast. But now the DPS is going to be applied as we see that first Harpy taking a ton of damage. Mike Devoid is now down.
Well, we can see that the Tengu team is going to want to be kiting the Goons around a little bit, so they probably want to get their Bouncers in a good position before they drop them out there.
So they basically drop the Bouncers as they pass by the beacon, dropping them towards the center of the arena so they can project across a large chunk of the map.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that damage being applied fast. That, I think, is why the Goons got off to a slow start, is that they were waiting until they got in position to drop the core of their damage, which is those Bouncers.
And now that we see the drones out on the field, we'll see a lot more DPS hitting the Fearless team. It looks like they're going for that Basilisk right
Yes,
now.
and the Basilisk is being hit by Newts, too. So that's going to be something that really, really hurts it.
Yeah, Basilisks are really susceptible to cap warfare, so it ain't going to be good for old pro poster Rai.
And though another Saber getting knocked down for Goons, if Fearless can take down all those frigs, then those Tengus will be in a pretty strong position even if they lose their own frigs.
Yeah, and Fearless is going to have a lot easier time dictating the range as Goonswarm loses their smaller support ships. But that Basilisk taking a bunch of damage. If he goes down, it's going to be a lot harder for Fearless to tank all that sentry damage.
The Basilisk is being neuted by the Gilas. Excellent use of the high slots on the Gilas, which don't get a damage bonus to any high slot weapons. But you note that it actually is cap transferring with the Vulture on its team. Another case of a cap transferring Basilisk with another...
As soon as the Basilisk lost that shield, bam, there he goes, dead.
Yeah.
So Fearless lost their logistics, their resilience, their tanking ability is going to suffer greatly, but Goonswarm's down a whole bunch of their support.
We are, however, seeing one of those Gilas is going to be dropping. It's through armor armor now into structure. The damage that these Ham Tengus can do against a ship with as big of sig radius as a shield extended Gila is going to break right through at reps. However, once they start losing some Tengus, then they're going to be in trouble because they won't be able to break through the larger
but
reps.
those Tengus are repping with ASBs, and they're holding their damage a lot. They're holding the damage off really well. I don't like the position Goonswarm's in right now. Sorry, guys.
They haven't lost a lot of their DPS yet. I think actually they're still in not too bad of a position. It's just a question of taking down these Tengus. Now, the Tengus have ASBs, but once they have to reload, they'll go down fast. So if they can keep the Gilas alive long enough to take down 1 or 2 of the Tengus, then they may be able to rep them.
Fearless is in a much better position to dictate the range right now. And
with all the frigs,
Yeah, and those Tengus are even though they lost their logistics, they still have a tough tank on their own, and they have the ASB.
Now we're seeing damage from the Goons applying to the Harpies as they take down Kyrie's Harpy. That's a good choice. Harpies can be taken down quickly with these drones that are in the right optimal, and it takes a lot of DPS off the field because the Harpies actually do a ton of DPS.
Yeah, I think target calling is really important from here on out.
You'll notice this first Gila went down really fast, but the second one's tanking very well. I'm not sure what the main difference is. It's possible that the first one just got hit while the Basilisk was being damped outside of range, because there are damps on the Basilisk. So we're seeing the damage just being applied very heavily. And now some of it going on to the Goon Basilisk.
Yeah,
if they lose that, they're in big trouble.
Yeah,
the Tengus are now on top of him.
Yep, he got tackled. There's no way he can tank all that damage from all those Ham Tengus on top of him.
Yeah, and we're not seeing any booster effects from him. I'm surprised. Oh, there you go. There is booster effect. So he is a ASB Bassi, but it may not be enough. He's still going to go down.
Yeah,
they're losing chunks of armor between each boost, chunks of structure, and once he goes down, that's going to be really tough. At this point, the best bet for the Goons would be to try to drop those drones and kite, get some range, use the fact that their damage isn't connected to their location.
It's going to be really hard for them as they don't have a lot of support to slow down.
And they're losing their last one right there, that Merlin going down.
Meanwhile, Fearless still has some of their tacklers ready that can slow down those heals.
If Fearless beats the Goons, the posting will be incredible. The posting will just blot out the sun.
The forums will be excellent. I'm heading straight to the forums as soon as this match is over with to see what kind of...
That is where the real fight in this match is going to happen. After the match, on the forums, and we're going to see some impressive posting there, I think.
Many posts to be made. I'm sure a very smug Larconis Trassler will be posting it up.
It doesn't look like in this match any of the Fearless members have actually burned out their highs. Actually, one thing you will note is that Snake O'Donnell for Fearless has been put into the Vulture this time, so if he burns out his highs, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know, I was hoping this would be a little bit more back and forth, especially after the Basilisk went down, that the Fearless team would lose their tanking ability and we'd start to see ships blowing up, but it didn't really seem to happen. Those Tengus were able to tank all by their own.
Having the ASBs as a second stage for after you lose the Logi can be a very effective tactic, and in this case, it did the job. That Tengu of Larconis is probably going to go down because it looks like he's on reload, but oh no, there he gets the boost up, never mind. But it definitely looks like Fearless is taking this match.
Yeah, so the ASBs, less of a factor than they were in the 6-mans because there's just so much more DPS on the field. Here in the 12-mans, but still very important module in these small tournament battles that we're seeing.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing, it'll take a little while for these ships to go down because just about everything left on the field is ASB tanked. These Tengus have ASBs, I'm pretty sure the Vulture will too, and the Gilas as well for Goons also with their boosters to keep them alive.
Every time I think Larconis Trassler's run out of charges in ASB, he just reps it up one more time.
Just taunting the Goons at this point.
It's killing me. I'm so sad right now. My poor Goonswarm team.
Well, good job to Fearless for this match. The Goons, who did so amazingly well in the 6-mans, losing a match in the 12s. This doesn't knock them out by any means. They still have 2 more matches in the group stages, and everyone who loses this first day still has quite a good chance of coming back.
They still have 2 more matches. They can win both of them. This is a tough group though. There's no like...
They're going to have to beat Virgil Collapse now.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like absolutely secure in any of the matches they went up against. I did think they would win against Fearless.
Capital Punishment's a pretty strong team too. They have this is a tough group, and this is not the kind of group where you want to end up down 1.
No, it's going to put Goonswarm in a really sticky situation.
So
the next 2 are pretty much must-wins for them now.
Yeah. So when you compare how the Goons have done with how Test has done, you see Test with the poor showing in the 6-mans, but doing very well in the 12v12, and Goons doing the opposite. So the 2 major halves of this CFC coalition have reverse fortunes.
I was really impressed with Test's setup. I wonder if somebody may have given them some pointers between last week and this week.
Yeah, who knows? It's very possible. But
they do have some new allies down there in the
south. Maybe Goons should have made up with PL earlier instead of waiting until they needed help in the south.
Here I thought that Villy could do it for us. Villy.
He may still be able to come back in these next matches, though. I can say that the teams that practice the hardest are the teams that I think are going to do the best overall, and Goons have practiced a lot.
Well, Goons have practiced a lot, which is shockingly enough, we actually made it into the tournament this year to practice. Yeah. But another thing about the Goonswarm practices that, unlike other teams, we haven't tried to hide our practices at all. I think we've been practicing right there in that main station Singularity, and everyone's been able to see what we've been doing. The object was just to test so many different setups that nobody would know what we're bringing at any point in time.
Well, this is excellent use of Ham Tengus by Fearless. A very similar setup to the one that actually PL lost in the last tournament with against Darkside. But it's working for them here against shield extended cruisers and battle cruisers. They work wonders.
I can't say I felt really good about the Gila setup going into this. I don't really like Gilas as a ship. I don't like drone ships in general, even though they do have modules that help them out this year a lot more than they have in the past year. I've just never been a real big fan of drone setups.
Yeah. So Billy is now, he's running his booster, but he's slipping into armor. He's going to lose some skill points and back to the drawing board to come back tomorrow.
Yeah, Billy. You have a chance to redeem yourself tomorrow. Don't let me down. Well, at least it wasn't a complete shutout. Goonswarm did kill some of the Fearless ships. We got to see a whole lot more stuff blowing up.
So I think this is one of our first examples of two true brawler teams coming at each other. And this is back to what we were talking about that we expected to see. A lot of teams with a bunch of kills both sides.
Yeah.
And so these are nice setups to see a lot of explosions. We got Tengus down on both sides, very expensive. But Fearless, with the somewhat surprising win, they discounted themselves in the forums, but now they're going to be posting very smugly for the next couple days.
Oh, my poor Goons. I'm so sorry.
And we'll send you back to Soundwave in the studio.